Oops. Hi guys, it's Courtney here with Lil Kitten Krafts, and in this week's video, we are going to be showing you everything you need to make tumblers like this one. So let's get started. All products you see today will be listed below in the description and are not sponsored. Hey guys, here we are in the workshop. The first thing you need to remember when doing anything with resin is safety. You want to wear nitrile gloves, specifically nitrile, not latex or anything or vinyl, because nitrile doesn't react to resin, but sometimes some resins can react to latex or to vinyl. So make sure to get nitrile gloves. These ones are from Costco in a giant bundle, and you want to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe for breathing, so you have to wear a mask. This is a full face shield mask, so it goes directly over your face, covers your entire face, and it is for organic vapors. The filters are, which is important. So it just sits on your face like that. Or you can wear a half face mask like this one. Again, organic vapors, and it doesn't cover your face, but it covers, like it doesn't cover your eyes, but it covers your face, so that you're not breathing in harmful chemicals. Now, what is doing tumblers without tumblers? I get my tumblers from Stainless Steel Company Depot. They are the Hog tumblers, which is a good tumbler because they are double-lined stainless steel, rated for high temperatures and low temperatures, really durable and solid. People also use Yeti tumblers, things like that. Do your research, see what kind of tumblers you like that you can also find affordable. These are what was in my price range. This is the twisted tumbler. I've got several different shapes and sizes. I love them all, and they are great quality. When you start with a tumbler, you have to prep it. To prep it, you can rough it up using a sanding block and then clean it with either acetone, which I don't have because my husband kept it. Thank you. You can either rough it up with a sanding block and then clean it with 100% acetone. This is just nail polish acetone. You can also get large containers of it from Home Depot. Or you can clean it with a high proof of isopropyl alcohol. This is just in a spray bottle, but it is 97% isopropyl alcohol. Then you want to paint it. I like to use the 2K Ultra Paint and Prime by Rust-Oleum. It is a thicker paint because it's got a primer in it, and it's already turned me blue. This is fine. That allows it to get prepped and ready. And also I use a matte or satin finish, not a gloss finish, because you want it to still have a grip to it. When you have a prepped tumbler, like this one is prepped-ish, my husband did it. It's not the prettiest one, but this is fine. You want it on a stick so you can manipulate it easily. We just use PVC pipe and pool noodles to make our little holders that go in the cup and hold the cup so it's ready to be turned. Speaking of turning, the next thing you will need is a cup turner. Now this is a homemade cup turner that my husband put together, and he will be putting together a tutorial on how he actually built this. You can also buy them online. They are on Amazon, Etsy, all over the place. This is a heftier one. It's longer. You can use it for longer cups like this one, and it won't overbalance and tip, whereas a smaller one, you might have a problem. This is a 35-ounce cup, and it's really long, so my smaller turner that I had couldn't stand up to how much weight was on the end of it, and it kept lifting up and tipping. When you're using a turner or anything else, you also want to make sure that you are using a silicone mat. It helps to just keep your work surface clean, which is always nice because otherwise you end up with all these bumps and you end up with a very uneven surface. These are super easy to clean. All we do is use a lint roller and just roll the dried UV and glitter off of it, and then it's clean. It stays stained, so we replace them relatively frequently just because we don't want them to look super nasty. But for working on them, super easy. Another thing you can use is a trash bag because resin doesn't stick to trash bags. Once you have a prepped tumbler, you can then add glitter to it. And to do that, you have to use specific adhesives. You can either use Mod Podge, tack it over and over, or your cup resin. So I use these three. You can also use spray adhesives. There's a few other adhesives that you can use, but I specifically stick to these three. Tack it over and over is great if you're trying to do a burnishing method where you rub the glitter into the cup. Mod Podge is great if you're trying to do more of a chunky look, like that tumbler I was just showing you has more of a chunky look on the bottom, which is from Mod Podge. And then if you're trying to do the whole cup with a chunkier effect, the easiest way to do it is with epoxy resin, I find. This is the epoxy resin I use for my tumbler, and the reason why is because it has a high viscosity, or thick. It is the Pro Art Resin High Performance UV, and it has a really nice thickness. If you are doing tumblers and you find that you get what's called fish eyes, or it separates and makes dents in your cup, that either means that your turner's not turning fast enough, or it means that your resin is too thin. You guys know I love Let's Resin for casting, but when I tried using Let's Resin for my turners, I got fish eyes every single time. It's just because it's great. It's a thin resin, which means all the bubbles work out of it, but it's thin, so it doesn't stay on the cup very well and it slides off, which causes the fish eyes. When using resin, of course, you want your mixing supplies. Typically, you're only gonna mix about 1 milliliter for every ounce that the cup is holding maximum. So, for example, this is a 20-ounce tumbler. I would only be doing 20 milliliters maximum on this cup, and typically it takes less than that. Just depends on the shape of your tumbler. A small mixing cup like this one, which I got from Let's Resin, is a great way to mix your resin. And then, of course, you want a mixing stick. Now, like I said, tumbler resin is thick, so you're gonna want a heat gun. Now, this is my industrial Epic heat gun. You don't have to use that. There are small, simpler heat guns, or you can even use a torch or a lighter to pop the bubbles, but you will get bubbles from thicker resin. It's just inevitable, and it's a good thing to have a tool to get those bubbles popped. As you guys know, I am obsessed with glitter, especially holographic glitter. So when I say you can glitter your tumblers, for goodness sakes, glitter your tumblers. You can use chunky glitter and get a nice chunky effect. Just make sure when you do to smooth it out some so that it doesn't stick out and make your cup look like a porcupine, because it's going to be really hard to cover that resin. You can use smaller glitter and even burnish this glitter straight in, and you can use shaped glitter like this right here. This is actually a combination of all three. So I use chunky glitter on the bottom, and then I use shaped glitter, and then I covered it in a coat of resin with small holographic glitter so that you get all three in one beautiful thing. I applied the flamingo glitters using Mod Podge, and I placed them individually. I applied the chunky glitter also using Mod Podge, and then I smoothed it with my hand to get it to lay flat. And then I added the fine holographic glitter to the resin to coat it, so it got a hollow taco. Don't come at me, Christine. I love you. You're the best. Check out Simply Nailogical. That's where I got that from. She's amazing. Another thing you can do, especially with what they call the tack it method, which is using the Eileen's tack it over and over all over the cup, waiting until it's dried but tacky, and then smoothing or burnishing things in, is mica powder. When you use a mica powder on it to burnish it in, it gets kind of especially with these kind of mica powders where they're two-toned, it gets a two-toned effect that's just absolutely stunning. Or if you're feeling really adventurous, you can go get some glow-in-the-dark powder. I've used most of mine already, which is very sad because I love it and I go through it a lot because it's amazing. and make it glow in the dark, which is super fun. Otherwise, you can put the mica powder directly in the resin that you're putting on the thing. So for example, this tumbler has fine color shift glitter on top, and then it's got mica powder mixed in white resin to make the kind of wave look for the beach. Another thing you can do besides glitter, though, how about in addition to glitter? We just agree that we're going to glitter things. Just you and me, we agree right now, make a pack, glitter all the things. Good. All right, another thing you can do is dip dyeing, where you actually take spray paint and dip it into water and then dip the cup into it, and it gets this really neat swirl effect. My assistant will show you guys up close. Wow! Once you got your first layer on and you're happy with your glitter, because we put glitter on it, yes, good. You want to make sure that your glitter is going to stay. What I like to use is a matte clear coat. It helps to keep the glitter where you put it and protect the glitter so it doesn't fall off with whatever your next step is going to be, which is typically resin, but it can also be vinyl. Vinyl is a wonderful thing to use on your tumbler, and you can use it in a number of ways. You can use it on top to put a little saying on it, or you can use it in a peekaboo method. With the peekaboo method, you do a layer of coloring and then you place vinyls and then you do another layer of coloring, and then you remove the vinyls and it shows the colorant underneath through, peeking through, if you will. So that's what I did with this cup. It's got an entire saying and the background layer. This is another example of peekaboo. In this one, I painted it one color, put the vinyl on, painted it a different color, and then covered the whole thing in Tack-It method mica powder. So you can see, because it's a mica powder, because it's a color shift mica powder, it reacts to the two color backgrounds differently. And so it gets this really cute, subtle animal print. And then I put vinyl on the front of it to say the cute AF. Another way I use vinyl is on my warnings on the bottom. So when someone buys a tumbler from me, I want them to understand what they can and can't do with the tumbler. And I include an insert with them, but I also want to make it somewhere where they can see it all the time, because if people are anything like me, that insert's gonna be like, huh, and then it's gonna magically disappear in the same place that the left sock goes. So I put the warnings directly on the bottom, and I make sure to resin it in so it's not going anywhere. That just gives people an idea of what they can and can't do with their tumbler, so that they can always remember, so they won't be wondering in a year down the road whether or not they can microwave it or dishwash it. Another way that you can color and make your tumbler pretty is with alcohol inks or resin dyes. You can put them in the resin that you're putting it on. Otherwise, you can also apply the alcohol ink directly to the tumbler using a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to add to it. Once you have your tumbler all ready and to go, you will inevitably end up with gunk on the inside. And that's normal, perfectly acceptable. You will end up with a little bit of paint overspray, a little bit of resin overflow, whatever. If you don't, tell me your secrets, because I need to know this. I have yet been able. And you want to make sure that all of that is cleaned out, because resin is not edible. It's not food safe, no matter what they say. And paint is also not food safe. And hollow, sadly, is also not food safe. Unless you make your chocolate holographic. Again, y'all, check out Simply Logical. She is chef kiss. Once you get done with your tumbler and you're ready for the next step, it is time to clean it. Now, the last step on any tumbler is you want to cover it with a nice coat of resin, and you want to let it cure for a good 72 hours. Depending on your resin, but typically a good rule of thumb is 72 hours, just to make sure that it's super solid. At that point, it's time to clean out the inside. Now, how you clean out the inside is kind of a multi-step process, but the first step that you want to do is you want to scrape it out. We use these hobby knives to really get in and get a lot of the resin out from in there. So you see this one's got resin on the inside, resin on the edges. You just go in and you very carefully remove the resin from the edges and from the inside of the cup. And then once you get the resin out, you want to clean it out with acetone. It may take several goes, but you really want to get in there and get every little bit out with the acetone. All the resin, all the paint out with the acetone. The last step you want to do is clean it with dishwashing liquid like Dawn or Ajax and some water. Get it all nice and clean. Maybe hit it with some alcohol just to make sure that it's completely sanitized, and then ship it on its new home. We hope that what you guys saw today will give you an inspiration on what you can use to create tumblers and start making your own beautiful works of drinkable masterpieces. Delicious. If you like what you saw, make sure to holographically sprinkle your love on the like button. Want to see more? Make sure to subscribe. It's free to you, but it means the world to us. And make sure to hit the little notification bell so that you know whenever we next post. I'm Courtney with Lil Kitten Krafts, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye!
So you've got this much table to work with.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. So
yeah, you should be good because you can't reach any further than that anyway.
Are you putting the bunny in the shot?
Perfect.
You can't cover my face with it! So we're going to be talking about the word so. And so editing so. Right, ready, Freddy?
Sorry.
You threw my bunny!
How bad?
Leave a comment down below if you think it's cruel to throw bunny rabbits. Sorry. See you guys later. Bye! Oh,
I can't use that.
Hi. Right?
Uh.
Shh, it's fine.